Once we start gaining an understanding of these evils, we can identify. Hello and welcome back to Cultivating Harmony. Today I'm discussing the 6 evils, or what is considered the 6 pernicious influences in Chinese medicine. These are things that basically create disharmony or imbalance and that invade the body and are considered pathogenic. And they are cold, heat, damp, dry, wind, as well as summer heat. The idea that some of these things are actually considered harmful to the body can actually be found in many different cultures around the world, with the worship of institutional proven science being the end-all be-all of knowledge in modern times. Many of this information is now considered folk wisdom or even just funny things that our grandparents used to say. But by disregarding some of this ancient wisdom that has been passed down upon generations, could this possibly be a reason why we have so many people who are sick, depressed, ill, or otherwise in dis-ease today? Let's take a deeper look at what each of these 6 evils or pernicious influences are and what types of symptoms they produce, so we can better understand their actions in Chinese medicine. So the first one is cold, and this is generally considered something that can damage yang in the body, which is the function or movement, especially of qi or blood in the body. It's something that weakens us and causes a type of constricting or contracting action, as well as congealing. It even causes stagnation, which we know is also related to pain. So feeling cold or the extreme dislike of feeling cold, any type of thin, watery, clear discharge from the body, whether it's the nose or other parts, fatigue, paleness, are all examples. So we can easily see why it's so important in Chinese medicine for us, especially during the winter months or anytime we're exposed to cooler temperatures, to make sure that we have the body mostly covered as to not allow cold to invade the body and make us ill. So next up we have heat, which is very drying to the body. You can almost picture kind of the desert, right? It's so hot that all the water just evaporates out. Heat is something that causes redness, inflammation. It also causes a type of agitation or irritability, even anxiety, insomnia. It causes thirst, right? We're really wanting to bring that moisture back to the body. But also any type of loud or forceful movement, whether it be that kind of cough that just it comes out of you and your abs are sore later, or even that kind of violent motion in an emotional, angry outburst, right? So in these ways, we can understand why we really want to maintain a balance in our bodies and not allow them to get overheated, inflamed, or burnt out. So the next evil is damp, and for some reason I think dampness tends to be one of the grosser ones, or what we consider more embarrassing in modern times compared to the other evils. But dampness really has this very heavy or settling to the bottom type of energy about it. It tends to be something that lingers for a long time. It's something that's very difficult to treat. It takes a long time to resolve itself. It's associated to greasy, oily, that kind of idea of pus in wounds or in acne, even an infection. It tends to smell bad. It's any type of mucus or discharge, that yeasty fungus. It's also things like warts or any type of external extra growths on the body that shouldn't be there, like skin tags. I don't think any of us want to entertain these types of symptoms. So just making sure that we're not overeating in general, and especially things that are, sweets, dairy, greasy or fried food, baked good. We want to maintain a strong digestive system and also avoid damp climates or environment. Are easy ways to avoid dampness within the body or any type of water accumulations. You can also check out my late summer foods and conduct videos, because the late summer is associated with dampness in Chinese medicine, and those will give you some other great tips and more specific recommendations. So of course the next evil is the other extreme, which is dry, right? So any type of dryness, dry skin, dry hair, chapped lip, dry cough, constipation, inflexibility. These are all indications that the body is very dry and actually needs more moisture or lubrication in it in order to function optimally. This doesn't mean go pound, 10 gallons of water a day. No, that's not at all what I mean. We want to actually incorporate foods that are considered more moistening to the body, and those are things such as okra, pumpkin, oats, sesame seed, figs, licorice root, even pears are all foods that are considered moistening or lubricating to the body and are great options. So up next we have summer heat, and this is really characterized by heat symptoms, yes, but also they tend to be more extreme or much more severe than the typical heat signs, as well as things that come on very quickly. So we can think of in the summer where it's very common for people to have heat strokes, right? Any type of that collapsing, heart attacks, also feeling very lethargic, especially in the midday, as well as food poisoning. These are things that are very common during that intense heat of summer. And when that gets trapped inside the body, those are the types of things that we can experience. Also like very extreme or fevers that come on very quickly. So last but not least is wind. Now wind is specifically one of those evils that in ancient cities, a lot of times people actually avoided, if they were coastal cities, the shorelines because of wind. And back then people knew that wind wasn't evil, so if they did go to the coastlines, they always kept their skin covered. Even if it was a warm climate, they still wore a thin layer to help keep out the wind. And a lot of times, most of the foods in these coastal regions that are actually able to get rid of wind in the body, you know, things that are associated with wind being stuck in the body are any type of itchiness, right? So itchy rashes especially. Any type of sudden movements, right? So when we have muscle spasms or twitches, anything that is type of paralyzation of muscles. It can even be something as simple as tight or knotted muscles at the less severe end of it. But those kind of abnormal positioning of the body and the muscles are really indicators that somehow wind has been trapped within the body. So I hope I was able to supply you guys with a very easy to understand explanation of these 6 evils in Chinese medicine. These are really the basics of Chinese medicine, but they're really foundational in that once we start gaining an understanding of these evils, we can identify them when we're experiencing them in real life, and when we can identify them, then we can understand how we need to proceed forward in treating ourselves and maintaining our own well-being. Please, if you haven't already, make sure you like this video. I would so much appreciate it if you also subscribe. This allows me to put out more Chinese medicine content for you all, and I'm always open to suggestions in the comments of what types of videos that you would be interested in seeing going forward. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Thanks.